Welcome everybody, my name is MrLlama and today I'm bringing you a ZVZ that's going to be between LiquidSheth, the purple Zerg spawning up in the top right hand corner, and his excited opponent FGMaSsan, who is going to be spawning down in the bottom left hand corner, and this is Cloud Kingdom LE. And Massan, great player, thanks for signature on my Zerg symbol. So I'm not exactly sure. But I'm assuming Massan got a signature and autograph here from LiquidSheth. I just wish I could live up to someone, to being someone. Confusing, right? No clue. Okay, I guess he wishes he could look up to someone, not really live up to someone. Makes a little bit more sense, I feel like, in those terms. Anyways, no early pools coming out of either of these players. We'll have to see if they're going to be going for a hatch first, or if they will be going for some sort of 14 pool, or maybe even grabbing that 14 gas 14 pool, which haven't seen that too crazily often. So it looks like we did see a little click over there for something. Was it a drone rally? Nope, not going to be a drone rally either. I'm striking out all over the place, I suppose, on this one. But yeah, so Sheth, my wooden Zerd thing from last MLG. I'm just going to ignore the chat at this point. They're just going and going and going. So here it looks like Sheth will be taking that 15 pool, and his opponent Massan grabbing the pool as well. But Massan grabbing the gas with it, which is something that I haven't seen a lot as of late, right? And it's not like it's something that's completely shifted out. Grabbing a gas with your pool has been very standard play, but I want to say as of late, from what I've kind of started to notice, the trend is less gas grabbing and more just grabbing that 16 hatchery, which we will be seeing here out of LiquidSheth, who already has this drone down there in position. He is ready to sacrifice his life for the greater good to build that hatchery. And Massan instead going to be able to mass up a little bit of possibly some lings. They're going to get a queen out. So he did go ahead and grab this drone and overload behind it. So it's not going to be like some fast 14-14 or 15-14 all in. Instead, though, it looks like he will just be grabbing that fast speed, and then he can grab his hatch, of course, after that. But Sheth right there knows something is up. You saw he was watching that overlord. That's something you definitely want to watch for. You look in, you see if they have a hatchery. If they don't, and it's at that 20 mark, 20 supply mark, you have to be a little bit scared of Sheth. So here we can see he has his gas going now. He's going to definitely want to get speed as soon as he can. He's got a queen out. He's going to be building a spine crawler very quickly. And now he does see, though, that it looks like Massan was taking a hatch just a little bit later, but this of course still indicates that he has that fast speed. So something that I would like to see Sheth do is go ahead and build that wall off right there with the spine crawler. You go baneling nest, spine crawler, and then you can put your queen right in between. It creates a nice little wall, makes it very difficult for Zerglings to run past, and then of course they can just, you know, enter over here and stuff, but you can have some lings and yada 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 over there. So it looks like Sheth is going to start moving out with a couple of links to try and get a little preemptive scout up into the base, which is a smart move. He wants to see how many guys are on gas. As you can see, there are 0 guys on gas at this point. And oh no, he's not going to be able to get into the base. So Sheth right here needs to start preparing. As you can see, he's getting a baneling nest. He has that spire down, or the spine crawler, excuse me, not spire. And he's definitely going to have to be worried, and there, as you can see, he's going to start morphing in 4 banelings for defense, simply because he didn't see what was going on in his opponent's base. All he saw was a late hatchery and some lings that popped out to go ahead and kill him. And here we can see Massan has massed up a nice sum of lings. So does he even see these guys pushing out? No, he does not. Sheth has 0 vision across the entire middle of the map at this point. So these lings are going to be a huge surprise as they get over there. You do have to remember, though, he does have 4 banelings. He has that spine crawler as well, and he has no drones down here in the natural. So that right there is good news for Sheth at the very least, as he doesn't have to worry about that. But at this point, we can see that Massan's going to start grabbing this drone lead, because Sheth has to play defense somewhat at this point. He has to make these lings because he has to be worried, you know, is there going to be some sort of ling, baneling, all in thing going on over here? He doesn't know. He just doesn't really have vision of what's happening. And so now we can see that drones are finally starting to fill these mineral fields, so we will be able to see that right there. Massan's going to back off, but he's gained a nice little drone lead. It's just going to be, you know, 4 at this time. But as you can see, you know, adding on more drones, that right there, every bit counts in this matchup. Additionally, we're going to see Massan throwing down a Roach Horn at this point. Still only on this 1 gas, so it doesn't look like he's going to try and go for any sort of fast tech, fast, you know, 2+1/+1 upgrades or anything. Probably just going to grab, you know, a single +1, maybe grab a lair here fairly shortly. We'll have to see what exactly he decides. There we go. Lair going down. Now he's going to start adding the gas, and then he can get his +1. And what do we see, though, coming out of LiquidSheth, who is still kind of in that defensive mode, or a little worried, I should say, because he still doesn't have vision. But he has at least transitioned into drones, so he hasn't overreacted whatsoever. But he does have these 6 banelings that he has used right here to try and gain some, or provide a little defense. And is he going to catch all these lings in the middle? No, MrLlamaSC actually going to be able to split them up very decently and kills 3 banelings at the cost of just a couple lings. Looks like Sheth was just sending out some sacrifice banelings across the map, and they're going to do some decent damage. They end up killing off a few of those lings, so I'd say a majority of the lings actually went down to those banelings. Could have been a little bit more cost efficient, but MrLlamaSC is in no danger at all whatsoever at this point. He has a nice little wall right there, has his +1 just started, a couple roaches out behind this, and now he's grabbing a 3rd gas. So will he grab any lair tech soon, or is he just going to use this for some sort of roach speed? We'll have to see. What is the work count looking like? Sheth has grabbed a decent advantage in the workers, actually. And I'm not so sure as to how at this point. I suppose it was simply these roaches and possibly a few lings being made there by MrLlamaSC. So it looks like he kind of spent a little bit too much, and he's also investing in the gas. But I don't know, Sheth has all these extractors as well. So somehow he magically came out with a slight drone lead, but it has been evened up now. It's 40-40 in the drone count. So the game is still looking fairly even at this point, despite MrLlamaSC having that slight early lead right there. And I'd probably say it was just the roaches here that were built by MrLlamaSC that were his 3 to 4 drone lead right there. They're just kind of sitting in these units at this point. So we do see that MrLlamaSC is starting to mass up a lot of units. And will we see Sheth try and go for some sort of 3rd hatch at this point? Is he going to try and go for some sort of lair tech? I mean, we don't see anything yet. So both players just continuing to build up units at this point. And look at this, though. Sheth has a lot of lings down here, which can be used for a run by later on. This is a huge part of ZVZ that's not really noted by a ton of casters, that's not really noted by a ton of people, is all of these lings which you hide down here can be so effective for that counterattack into the 3rd base when that player pushes out, which as you can see MrLlamaSC's doing right now. His roaches do have speed. Does Sheth have enough roaches to defend this? Doesn't look like it at this point. He only has about 5 or 6 roaches, 5 more are in production, but they're still a ways away, so he's going to have to try and defend this the best that he can. And it looks like MrLlamaSC will be able to push in and start doing some damage right here. He will be able to focus down that spine crawler very quickly. Now going to start pushing up, just focusing down roaches and queens as quickly as he can. So very nicely done by MrLlamaSC. Very good attack. The lings are going to be forced back, and now they're actually going to be able to get a surround, though. That's not what MrLlamaSC wants at all. It looks like Sheth will be able to clean this up. So with those lings, unfortunately MrLlamaSC did not keep himself in a place where all the lings couldn't attack, and with those Sheth is now in a decent position. He can kind of go for a counter push, which is exactly what we're going to see. MrLlamaSC trying to take this 3rd base, though, and we do see, what do we see in the unit count? Only 5 roaches with 8 more on the way. That still puts him at 13 to the 18 roaches and 9 lings of his opponent. So I don't know if MrLlamaSC is going to be able to hold this 3rd base. It's very possible he'll just have to cancel it off shortly. He does not want to lose these roaches right here to these lings. He needs to be very careful. One roach is going to fall down for free right there, and here come the additional roaches. They are going to be able to engage up against a couple of lone roaches right there, but now Sheth is in a decent position to start doing some damage. Nice transfuse does go down. The queen needs to get involved, though, and start doing some damage. Otherwise, it looks like Sheth might be able to continue with this pressure, and with the reinforcing roaches right there, that's going to be it. MrLlamaSC's going to have to be forced back, so he will lose this 3rd base, it looks like. As I don't think he really has enough. He's going to try and distract as best he can, but he's going to be losing roach after roach as they do focus fire. Infestors, though, are out on the way for MrLlamaSC, so they finally have popped a couple of them. Will they be able to get over there in time to save his 3rd base? There's some additional roaches. He loses the queen, though, needs to be careful. Will this 3rd base fall? It's going to be so close. It looks like Sheth is going to be able to pick that off and get out before taking too many losses right there. But will the fungal growth actually go down? Oh my goodness, he burrows and gets trapped in 2 fungal growths right there. So MrLlamaSC going to be able to do a ton of damage despite not having The Roach lead at that point. As we can see, the upgrades, I do believe, are even at this time. Yes, 0-1 for both players. The Infestor is going to start getting focused down. One does go down right there. Now we're going to see the Spine Crawler possibly come into play. Sheth just going to go ahead and burrow over here to go ahead and regenerate the health on those Roaches. And I mean, Sheth now taking a third base behind this. Game is still fairly even. We do see MrLlamaSC does have that Infestor tech, which will be very beneficial to him. And he does have an Overseer as well here, so this is going to be extremely good for MrLlamaSC. But at the same time, there are so many Roaches pushing over for MrLlamaSC at this point. Nice fun growth, or for Sheth, excuse me, nice fun growth by MrLlamaSC. He does have the Spine Crawl and all those Roaches doing a lot of damage there, so it doesn't look like Sheth will be able to break it at this point, but he's just continuing to send reinforcements over. He's now grabbing an Infestation Pit of his own, and I mean, if he can just keep recharging the health on these Roaches and then pushing in, he will be able to focus the Spine Crawler down now, and now he's going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. Some more Roaches are going to start piling out for MrLlamaSC. Sheth still in a decent position though, but it looks like MrLlamaSC going to be able to push him out. He does have all the Infestors as well. Nice fun growth does go down right there, so we're going to be able to kill off a lot of those Roaches, and just like that, MrLlamaSC might have turned it around. Will Sheth be able to hold this third base is the question, as more and more Roaches are piling out for both players. 10 on the way for MrLlamaSC, 6 on the way for Sheth at this point, but he has a lot waiting for him at home, so by the time MrLlamaSC gets there, he's going to have to be careful when pushing up this ramp right here, and it looks like he might actually still have the slight advantage, as there is not the +2 done yet here for MrLlamaSC. So Sheth going to be able to push back MrLlamaSC just temporarily, and MrLlamaSC going to go ahead and send in a little changeling, going to get picked off fairly soon. And now the Infestors are going to start popping for Sheth, and he really is going to want to have these Infestors. It looks like we are going to see MrLlamaSC start taking this third base additionally behind this, but he wants to get in and do some serious damage. As you can see, he had fallen behind in the worker count by about 7 workers at this point, but is he ahead in the army? It looks like he is, so he has a much superior army at this point. He has these Infestors, this one about to have 2 fungal growths very soon, but Sheth is getting those 5 Infestors out on his of his own, excuse me, and that could be extremely useful for him. It looks like MrLlamaSC's gonna push in though before the Infestors can really get over there. There's the Infestors, so 3 of them will pop out in time, but MrLlamaSC able to push in still and do a lot of damage. The +1-1 versus the 2-0 here are the upgrades, so they are pretty even at this point. Infestor Terrans being thrown out, and Sheth might not be able to hold this. It's going to be very close. Drones are going to get pulled, so he's going to be able to at least even the worker count, if not gain a slight lead in it right there. Infestor Terrans lobbed out as much as they can at that point, and MrLlamaSC going to start forcing Sheth back, now starting to do some damage to the third base of Sheth. Will he be able to pick this off, or will Sheth be able to get over here in time with some units? I don't think he has enough really at this point, so his third base will fall. MrLlamaSC has a third base up at this point, and MrLlamaSC as well has a nice supply lead. He has that army favored in his favor as well, favored in his favor, right? And MrLlamaSC at 130 versus the 100 or 96 of his opponent. Needs to be careful not to get too clumped up for fungal growths. And it looks like he will get a decent fungal off there from Sheth will, but MrLlamaSC is going to continue pushing in, continue throwing out these infested Terrans. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this. This is a lot for Sheth to hold at this point. Roach is still in production to try and defend, but he doesn't have as many larvae. He doesn't even have a queen injecting this hatch over here. He's running out of resources. He's lost a lot of drones. He's down to 18. MrLlamaSC going to continue pushing in at this point, so there are a lot of infestors right here. They can go ahead and start throwing out infested Terrans, so he'll be able to hold at least for a little while longer, but will he be able to hold in the long run is the question. He's going to start picking off some spare Roaches, whatever he can. Needs to be careful pushing down that ramp though, as now MrLlamaSC is reinforcing, doubled the supply, 110 to 53, and has MrLlamaSC taken this match? Has he taken down the person who he looks up to and who he just praised for getting his autograph? It's very certain that he has, as LiquidSheth GG's out. So what a great game, what great play by MrLlamaSC, able to really push in on that third with his infestor tech, and of course his Roaches right there, just the superior army, and punish Sheth. So GG. My name is MrLlama. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and I will see you guys next time.